Hello, I'm Pastor Kalju, Priilaid from Five Ways Ministry, branch of Word of Faith Christian Center. We've been talking about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, how that God brought him all the way through into the promised land, and He kept him through many trials and difficulties and famines, and how Jacob was eventually also rescued when Joseph was sent in advance to Egypt to prepare for them. And they went and they were salvaged. But it took 430 years for them to come back to the promised land. We come 1,000 or some hundreds of years later, and we find there's another Joseph. And Joseph was married to Mary, and Mary had a son called Jesus. But Herod was very threatened because the wise men coming from Ur of Chaldees type area came and said, "Where's this king? We want to worship him." And Herod was threatened, and he decided to kill all the male children up to the age of 2 in that area of Bethlehem where Jesus was born. And so angel said, "Get up, go to Egypt." So Egypt is also a good place to go to when the Lord will send you. And they up quietly in the night, Mary and Jesus and Joseph, another Joseph, and they quickly scurried out across the Nile area, and they lived in Egypt for quite a while. And might have been some years. And after Herod died, they heard, angel said, "It's okay, you can go back home now." The former Joseph didn't go back home when things got better, and he stayed. And after 430 years, they were in slavery. But this Joseph, with the promise of God, the blessing for the world, Jesus, Savior of the world, they up. And when the famine, so to speak, was over, they came back. And Jesus grew up in the promised land. And there his ministry and his whole life was centered. We can dilly-dally and spend a lot of time in the wrong place that God intended only to be a brief time. Or we can be like Joseph, who heard the angel, knew the voice of God, and did the right thing in spite of being a little bit uncertain of what waited for him. Let's keep trusting the Lord. He wants to continue to bless us and to make us a blessing. They dug the wells, they blessed the people. They went off to Egypt and they blessed the nations. And Jesus came with Joseph back home and they blessed the world. You can walk in God's blessing, and you can prove what is a good and acceptable and the blessed will of God. Walk in His blessing. You'll always come out tops. Trust Him. He's a good God, and He knows what's good for you. He knows what He can do with you. Trust Him. Things will do well with you as you keep trusting Him. God bless you. Have a nice day.